Tulsa was the surprise team of the American last year, maybe one of the biggest surprises in all of college football, and they're looking to repeat that success in 2021. They kind of fell short in terms of winning a conference championship last year, and a team that returned a ton of experience also suddenly found themselves in need of a couple more key positions when they lost a couple of big names to the transfer portal. Are they able to repeat their success from 2020? It's going to be tough to do because teams aren't underestimating them. They know what they're capable of, and now it's just a matter of finding those key positions, like I said, and figuring out a way to compete and still stay near the top of the conference. Number 10, quarterback Davis Brynn, who will be battling with Seth Boomer for the quarterback job. Zach Smith is now gone, and honestly, I think Brynn is the guy that will win. And if you remember Davis Brynn, he led the Tulane comeback, the Hail Mary, the big play after big play in that game when they needed it the most. Brynn is one of the biggest X factors on this team, and I think that he is going to maybe take this offense to a new level. Quarterback is the one position that the offense needs. Everybody else is back. So if they can get Brynn up to speed this year, if they can get him to play at a high level, this offense can take on a new level of really fear for opposing defenses. And with the defense needing 3 big names replaced, it might be the offense that has to carry the team for a little bit. Number 9, wide receiver J.C. Santana. We mentioned the Tulane game. He was the receiver that caught the pass, the Hail Mary pass for Tulsa. And last year he had 544 yards and 4 touchdowns. Tulsa's wide receivers, there's 4 guys that will be returning and that are going to be fun to watch. There's plenty of depth to go around, plenty of pass catchers for Davis Brynn to utilize, and Santana is just one of those guys. Number 8, offensive tackle Chris Paul. Not CP3, but still one of the best players on his team. Second team All-AAC last year. And this is an offensive line that's loaded. There's 5 guys that weigh 300 pounds or more, including 3 players that weigh 320. Excuse me, everybody except for one that's going to be in the rotation is 300 pounds or more. 3 of those guys are 320. And that's a size that you just can't replicate really almost anywhere else. And that's going to help them run the ball. That's going to help them protect Davis Brynn. And Paul is a veteran who knows what it takes and is going to make sure that this offensive line stays intact and plays at a high level. Number 7, safety Darren Ray. A very tall, long safety that is going to have to be the leader on the defense. Now that Allie Green and Caleb Evans are gone, he becomes the leader all of a sudden. And there's a couple guys, Christian Williams and Martin, that will contribute as well, but they need to find 2 corners really quick, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does in his new role. Number 6, linebacker Trayvon Reeves, a guy who many think could be the answer to the Zaven Collins absence. Collins obviously was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals this past spring, and now they need a guy to replace him. Now, Reeves might not have the special playability that Collins does, but he definitely has the talent to make those plays. Number 5, linebacker Justin Wright, another guy who should benefit from Collins' absence. Second team All-AAC last year, 63 tackles, 9.5 for loss. He just knows where the football is going to be. He knows how to get to the ball carrier and make plays at the line of scrimmage or behind it. Number 4, offensive tackle Tyler Smith, really came on strong. First team All-AAC last year as a freshman and learned a lot from Chris Paul. This is, Tulsa has 2 of the best tackles in all of college football, and like I said before, he's another guy that is going to be fun to watch and a big factor in the success of the offense. Number 3, wide receiver Keelan Stokes, second team All-AAC last year, 644 yards and 3 touchdowns. In his career, he has over 2,400 yards and 11 touchdowns. Guy who knows how to make plays when the football's in his hands, when the ball's in the air, you name it, he knows how to go get it and then turn it into points. And that's a player that Davis Brynn will love to have when things get tough. Number 2, running back Deneric Prince, the former Texas A&M transfer, will share the backfield with running back Shamari Brooks, so you can actually put both of them here. Brooks is a former 1,000-yard rusher who tore his ACL right before the season began, which was really tough to lose, but he is back. Prince is back. I think Prince is an absolute beast. I think he's going to be the starter this year, and if he's not, then he's going to find a way to be the best running back on this team. A very physical runner who also has a little bit of explosiveness in terms of speed as well. So it's going to be fun to see him in this offense, especially if they need to run the ball a little bit more at the beginning of the year. And then number 1, defensive tackle Jackson Player, first team All AAC, 37 tackles, 8.5 for loss, 3 sacks. Just a dominant player against anyone. If you go back and watch Oklahoma State, he was just mauling Oklahoma State offensive linemen. I think he has a potential future in the NFL, and he is a player that I'm excited to see what is he going to do to follow that up. The front line is going to play a bigger role given that the linebackers need to replace Collins, and guys like Player are going to make sure that things are taken care of up front. Philip Montgomery has a crazy roster. He returns nearly everyone, and even with some big losses, there's still a ton of guys to be excited about. Tulsa might not sneak up on anybody this year, but this is definitely a team that's going to contend for a conference championship once again.